Watershed, America's favorite YouTube show.
Ni hao from Suzhou. I'm now at the Marriott in Suzhou, and it's another really nice hotel. I kind of broke my own rule there. At the train station, got approached by a taxi driver, and like I had said in Shanghai, you're really not supposed to let someone come up to you and say, "Here, come with me," and then go with them. He did seem like a real taxi driver. He was sitting with the rest of the taxi drivers. He seemed to be on the up and up. He had a license in his car, a taxi driver's license in his car, a camera in his car. He talked to a police officer on the way to the cab. So all those things made me feel safe enough to get into the cab. It wasn't like he was leading me into an alley or a parking lot somewhere far away from the rest of the cabs. He did seem like a legitimate taxi driver, and apparently he was. He took me here to the Marriott Hotel. He predicted very accurately what the fare was going to be. So it worked out okay. You know, I guess at a certain point, you just have to trust people. You know, you can't get by all on your own doing everything yourself and expect to make it where you're going on time, I guess. But anyway, it worked out okay. So listen, before getting dinner here in Suzhou, I want to tell you about the dinner I had last night in Nanjing at a restaurant called Nanjing Impressions, or Nanjing DaPaiDang in Chinese. I found it on TripAdvisor. It had really good reviews for being authentic Nanjing cuisine, and it absolutely lived up to those great reviews. Now, it's not a restaurant for those with light stomachs or picky eaters. If you're looking for sweet and sour chicken or pork fried rice, then it's probably not the place for you. It's more exotic, local delicacies that they offer there in small dishes. So here's what I ate last night at Nanjing DàPáiDàng. The way it works, first of all, they don't speak any English there, so they do have pictures on the menu and numbers for each thing that you can order. So you figure out what you want, write it down on a sheet of paper, they take the paper and then bring them to you one by one. I didn't take any video at Nanjing DàPáiDàng, but I did take some photographs, so I'll show you the pictures as I tell you what I ate. And there's some interesting things here that I had never tried before. First, ordered a Qingda beer, which is a local or Chinese beer, and a traditional Nanjing noodle soup. Not the most adventurous order. There are some more interesting and exotic soups on the menu, but I'm so glad I went with the Nanjing noodle soup. That was really the star course of the entire dinner. It was so good. It might have been the best soup I've ever had in my entire life. And I'll show the picture now. Here's the soup and the beer. Can you see it? Can you see it? It looks like a normal noodle soup, but it was so good. I almost went back there today for lunch just to get another noodle soup. Again, that was really the star of the dinner. Everything else I ordered, I dip it into the noodle broth, and that made everything better. The noodles were fantastic. Really, again, it's definitely the best noodle soup I've ever had, and maybe the best soup I've ever had in my life, full stop. So that was the first course. Next up, had some roast duck steamed buns. Not too adventurous, but delicious. Here they are. Can you see it? Can you see it? That's roast duck in there, in those dumplings or steamed buns. Those were fantastic as well. And for the next course, went with some more dumplings, fried this time. These are fried dumplings with pork, leek, and mushroom. And these were even better than the dumplings before them. Can you see it? Can you see it? Those are fried dumplings with pork, leek, and mushroom. So good. Oh my god, I could have had probably 10 more of those. They were fantastic. Next up on the menu for me was a stewed Chinese meatball. This was very good too. Now this I had read on TripAdvisor was somebody's favorite dish from Nanjing DàPáiDàng. So I went in there planning on ordering the Chinese meatball. This also was excellent. Now, given the other items that were on the menu, I'm not sure I want to know what kind of meat or meats went into this meatball. you know, on the menu were things like snails, rabbit tails, parts of pigs and ducks and chickens that you would not normally consider to be edible, you know, feet, ears, tails, intestines. The meatball, hey, it tasted great. It kind of had a very, very light texture. It kind of almost had a matzo ball-like texture to it, but it was delicious. I would get it again. All right, the last two items, prepare yourself. Here's what I'll do. I will show you the picture, and you try to guess what these are. And if you've got a faint stomach, you might want to stop watching this video right now because these were the most adventurous items that I ate. All right, here's this one. Can you see it? Can you see it? What do you think that is? That is sliced duck gizzard with sesame seeds. This one actually, this was my least favorite of everything that I ordered last night. It was a bit salty. The texture was kind of tough, kind of rubbery. So this was the only item that I really tried and then didn't have any more of. Would not get it again. Maybe some people are into the duck gizzard, but hey, I can say I tried it, and there you have it. All right, the last item on the menu, and I'll show the photograph, and you can try to guess what this is. And it's definitely the most interesting thing I've eaten during this trip. Not sure if I would do it again, but I can say I did it once. Can you see it? Can you see it? Now, can you guess what that is? It kind of looks like a chicken leg or a turkey leg, right? I spent so much time looking through everything on the menu and deciding what to order that I kind of forgot what specifically I had ordered. And when this arrived, I thought it might be the gizzard or the meatball. I wasn't really sure, or maybe they brought me a chicken leg by mistake. Have you figured out what that is yet? Can you tell? All right, how about now? Yes, that is a duck head. It's a brown sauce duck head. And hey, I ate it. I ate most of it. Now when it came, so the duck head was the first thing I'd written down on my order sheet. And, you know, just like you probably thought when you first saw it, I didn't recognize it immediately as being a duck head. I picked it up and bit into it like a chicken leg, and it actually was delicious. The sauce was fantastic. The meat was very tender. Parts of it were. Now, there wasn't very much meat on it, so that made it a bit difficult to eat. And once I picked it up and took that first bite, I realized that what I was holding was the beak. And truth be told, my stomach did turn a little bit, although again, the sauce was delicious. And you know, I was there to try something new. Hey, I don't know that I would order duck head again, but I tried it once, and it made for an interesting story, if nothing else. So the full meal, all 6 courses and the beer, can you guess how much that cost? It wasn't quite as cheap as Casa de Toño in Mexico City, but still an amazing value. Here, I'll let you guess. Go ahead. How much do you think it cost for the Qingda beer, the traditional Nanjing noodle soup, which was my favorite thing that I ordered, the roast duck steamed buns, the fried dumpling with pork, leek, and mushroom, the stewed Chinese meatball, the sliced duck gizzard, and the brown sauce duck head? How much do you think that cost? I'll let you guess. Only 111 yuan, 111 RMB, which comes out to just under 18 US dollars for all that food. And when I left, I was really stuffed. So a good value. Most of the items were delicious. Some were more interesting than tasty, but my favorite meal I've had on this entire China trip so far, made for a really, really great experience. The decor was fantastic. The ambiance in the place was really something else. It's on this road called Hunan Lu, which basically is where all the main restaurants, or all the top restaurants in Nanjing are located. And if I had had more time in Nanjing, I would have gone back to Nanjing DàPáiDàng again. If I'm ever back in Nanjing, I will definitely go back to that restaurant for a second time. And one other highlight of last night's dinner, as I was eating, a girl comes up to me, and as had happened a few times earlier in the day, she asked to take a photo with me. She was from Chengdu. She was there with her friend. They were in Nanjing to honor the 70th anniversary of the Japanese surrender in World War II. And, you know, when she first came over and asked me to join her at her table, I was a bit leery because of what had happened in Shanghai, right? Don't follow someone when they ask you to come with them. But she seemed genuine enough, and she really was. Here's one of the photos. They both were really, really friendly, really nice. I thought we had a really great conversation and kind of hit it off right away. They were very interested to know what I was doing in Nanjing. They were there honoring the 70th anniversary of the Japanese surrender in World War II. They were both, again, from Chengdu, which is in the southwest region of China, up in the mountains. And they, as we were talking, their food came and they weren't eating while I was there. Maybe that was a respect thing. So I left to let them eat. I really, I was starting to feel bad about interrupting their dinner. But once I had left the restaurant, I hadn't gotten their names. There's no Facebook here, right? There's no Instagram. So I hadn't really found any way to connect with them. And we had such a nice conversation that I wanted to leave open the possibility that we could maybe talk again over email or something. So I wrote a note. I attempted to write it in Chinese with the help of Google Translate. So wrote some what I thought were some kind words in Chinese, signed my name and my email address, and then went back in and dropped off the note with the girl who had approached me. So she's got that. I don't know if she'll ever reach out to me. Hopefully it's a nice souvenir for her. And hey, maybe she'll reach out over email and we will speak again. Maybe not. But either way, it was really, really an interesting and delicious dinner, a great conversation, and all in all, a very cool experience. Nanjing, you're doing your thing. I had a great time there. Now it's time to turn the page and start focusing on Suzhou. So I'm gonna head down now and get dinner here in Suzhou. I can only hope it's half as good as that dinner last night at Nanjing DaPaiDang, Nanjing Impressions. A great restaurant that I highly recommend if you're ever in Nanjing. Check out Nanjing DàPáiDàng. Alright, with that, let's call it a video. I hope you liked the pictures, the photographs of last night's dinner. I don't know if it's inspired you to go out and try duck head yourself. Maybe, maybe not. But I will close out by saying, Nanjing, you're doing your thing. And one last point I will say is that oh, my feet are asleep. My feet are asleep. Oh.